Hello, everyone, and welcome to a segment that we are titling Faith Talks, which is stories of unwavering devotion. And I'm Minister Freeflow. This is my daughter, Soraya, and we'll be using these two books, 50 True Stories of Daring Women of God, Courageous World Changers by Shirley Ray Redmond, illustrations by Kataya Longi, that is the women. And then we also have 52 Stories of Daring Men of God, Brave Heroes, and Bold Defenders, also by the same author and illustrator. So each week we'll choose a person from one of these books and we'll read about that person and then we'll make a connection to someone in the Bible who had a similar devotion or had a similar struggle or story to the person that we read about in these history books. And all of these people followed God and were very devoted. So today's person is Corrie Ten Boom, and she was a Dutch underground volunteer. So Soraya will read about her, and then I will share um, a Bible story about people who had a similar struggle to hers. Corrie ten Boom was the youngest of four children in a Dutch family known for their Christian zeal. They invited soldiers, servant girls, and children with mental disabilities to their homes for meals, prayer, and Bible study. Corrie helped her mother in the kitchen and her father in his watch shop. After special training in Switzerland, Corrie became the first woman in the Netherlands to become a licensed watchman. During World War II, Corrie became the organizer of the secret ring of 80 Dutch volunteers who helped the Jews escape the Holocaust. She and her sister Betsy designed a special hiding place inside their home. They also developed a secret code to deliver messages safely. One day, betrayed by an informant, Corrie and her family were arrested by the German secret police. They were handcuffed, beaten, and sent to a deplorable concentration camp in Germany, where they lived with meager food, overflowing toilets, and biting fleas. Corrie smuggled the Bible inside her dress. It was never discovered, even though she was searched many times. After nearly a year, Betsy died. Corrie was heartbroken, but she was eventually freed to return to Holland. She wrote about her experiences in a part of the book titled The Hiding Place. Corrie traveled to more than 60 countries sharing the good news about Jesus and forgiveness. She said, "Never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God." Corrie died peacefully on her 91st birthday, surrounded by friends and birthday bouquets from well-wishers around the world. So the connection we made with Miss Ten Boom was Paul and Silas in Acts chapter 16, and I'll start at verse 19. Now, their stories are not exactly the same, but they do share some similarities with being betrayed and imprisoned and beaten for sharing the faith. So when her owners realized that their hope of making money was gone, they seized Paul and Silas and dragged them into the marketplace to face the authorities. They brought them before the magistrates and said, "These men are Jews and are throwing our city into an uproar by advocating customs unlawful for us Romans to accept or practice." The crowd joined in the attack against Paul and Silas, and the magistrates ordered them to be stripped and beaten with rods. After they had been severely flogged, they were thrown into prison, and the jailer was commanded to guard them carefully. When he received these orders, he put them in the inner cell and fastened their feet in the stocks. About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them. Suddenly there was a violent earthquake that the foundations of the prison were shaken. At once all the prison doors flew open, and everyone's chains came loose. The jailer woke up, and when he saw the prison doors open, he drew his sword and was about to kill himself because he thought the prisoners had escaped. But Paul shouted, "Don't harm yourself, we're all here." The jailer called for lights, rushed in, and fell trembling before Paul and Silas. He then brought them out and asked, "Sirs, what must I do to be saved?"
They replied, "Believe in the Lord Jesus, and you will be saved, you and your whole household." Then they spoke the word of the Lord to him and to all the others in his house. At that hour of the night the jailer took them and washed their wounds. Then immediately he and his household were baptized. The jailer brought them into his house and set a meal before them. He was filled with joy because he had come to believe in God, he and his whole household. When it was daylight, the magistrates sent their officers to the jailer with the order, "Release those men." The jailer told Paul, "The magistrates have ordered that you and Silas be released. Now you can leave. Go in peace." But Paul said to the officers, "They beat us publicly without a trial, even though we are Roman citizens, and threw us into prison. And now do they want to get rid of us quietly? No. Let them come themselves and escort us out." The officers reported this to the magistrates, and when they heard that Paul and Silas were Roman citizens, they were alarmed. They came to appease them and escorted them from the prison, requesting them to leave the city. After Paul and Silas came out of the prison, they went to Lydia's house, where they met with the brothers and sisters and encouraged them. Then they left. Now, with the earthquake and some of the things they went through in the prison, their story is different from Miss Corrie ten Boom, but for the most part, they were trying to share the gospel. They were jailed for it. They still praised and worshiped God while they were in jail. They were released. Same with Miss Corrie ten Boom. Now her sister did not make it out, but she still continued to do the work that they had done together. So we hope that this story of connecting history to Bible history is inspiring and that it will encourage others to continue to be bold and stand in faith and devotion to God no matter what, because we all will go through trials. But like Paul and Silas and Miss Ten Boom, you will reap the reward in the end. Thank you.